All right. Now, setting up for Chiller Night Live pre-show. So let me get that going. All right, let's go to chat. All right. Huh. Seeing something I've never seen before. I don't like seeing things I've never seen before. All right. That's why I hop on here a few minutes early before I usually begin. Alrighty, alright. Not what I'm looking for. Creator Studio. Alright. Setting things up, live streaming. All right, almost there. What do we got? We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes here. Everything looks good on YouTube's end. All right, now I'll set up on Facebook here. All right. Oop. Let's see how this goes. All right. Hit public. Am I getting comments already? Open in browser. All right, we're down to 1 minute here before we start. Chat is ready to display messages. Ava says, looks and sounds good. All right. All right, Merry Christmas. Boom. All right. Vicky says, hi, Ava. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, folks, let us, is it 8 o'clock yet? Okay, 8 o'clock, officially time to begin the Chiller Night Live pre-show. Let's make that happen. Okay, I'm back. Hey everybody, how's it going? This is the Chiller Night Live pre-show with Brian Hogue. I am your host, Brian Hogue, and hope everybody is enjoying the holiday spirits and is having a festive time of the year. And I appreciate you joining me. Vicky says, hi Brian. Hi Vicky, thanks for joining us. Us as in me and the skeleton back here, I guess. And everybody else who hopefully will be joining the Chiller Night community here tonight, online, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So, with that being said, I'm wearing my groovy alien shirt tonight. You see that? All right. All right. Now, what this is, if you're new to this show, I thank you for joining us tonight. And what I do from 8 p.m. until about a few minutes before 9 is I just kind of talk about tonight's Chiller Night TV programming. That's going to be on Stream TV. And that includes Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat. Those are the two shows I do. And every Saturday night I have a bracket of TV from 9 p.m. until about 3:30 a.m. every Saturday night. Again, every Saturday night. As crazy as it sounds, we do this every Saturday night. So, let's see. Tonight's schedule is kabam! I like to put my sound effects in there. Okay, Tom says, watching on Facebook tonight. Need to see how the other half lives. Not a bad idea. Every once in a while, it's nice to live on the edge and and see how, as Tom says, the other half lives. All right, now 9 o'clock tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are located just north of Pittsburgh here in Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. 9 p.m. Chiller Night Theater. Jack Shadow features Grave of the Vampire. 11 p.m. Chiller Chat. My guest tonight is Samantha Diener. You may know Samantha as Elle Von Nocht, the vampire character on Chiller Night Theater. 11:30 p.m. Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Horror Express. That was last week's feature movie. And then tonight at 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat. Now this is last week's feature Chiller Chat. Brian Hogue. That is me. I'll be interviewed by Luke Rio. Luke is the Stream TV station manager. And so that was a fun episode. And then at 2 a.m. Chiller Night Theater. The movie, once again, our feature film of the week, Grave of the Vampire. And you can see right there at the bottom of the screen, if you haven't already, take a minute or two out of your night to check out chillernighttheater.com. chillernighttheater.com. Pretty cool website, if I do say so myself. Chad says Merry Christmas. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Chad. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. I'm having a good month. I'm feeling the holiday spirit, and hopefully you are too. And if you're not, maybe you will by 9 o'clock tonight. Who knows? I mean, I put on the Santa hat. Old Bones back here, he's got his Santa hat on. He's got his garland scarf. We're trying to be as festive as possible. Things are just getting crazy here. All right, so we'll see how that goes. But there's just some pretty good movies here tonight. At Chiller Night Theater, we got Grave of the Vampire. Very, I think it's a pretty good vampire movie. I love the beginning of it, nice and creepy. You know, I love atmosphere, and this movie starts out right with some really good atmosphere. So we've got that going for our favor. I was talking about this last week. I'm gonna hit this information right now, and then we'll probably touch on it again later, because on January 4th, let me pull this up. Pow! I got to do my sound effects. I started doing that. I noticed that last week. Nosferatu, the very first Chiller Night Theater live, Friday, January 4th. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jack Shadow will feature the 1922 silent classic Nosferatu, starring Max Schreck. The thing about this is, I think I have conveyed this, but in case I haven't, now this is only going to be online. Okay, this show right here will only be online, just like you're watching this now. Okay, that will be Jack Shadow sitting in his castle, somehow borrowing this equipment, and he'll be chatting with the viewers and interacting with the viewers while the movie is going on. You can correspond with Jack Shadow, or of course when Jack does his breaks and lends his opinions and does his skits or commentary, then you can interact with him as well. So I wanted to make that clear. That will not be on Stream TV, which is another reason I'm doing this on Friday night, so that I don't conflict with the normal Saturday night Stream TV programming. Okay, so just so that's clear, on Friday night, on Friday, January 4th, you'll be seeing Jack Shadow. You'll be seeing Jack Shadow in a background that looks a little something like this. And it will be on Facebook and YouTube, just like the pre-show. That will be the only way that you'll be able to see that. Okay, and that's something totally new that I will be doing. I've never ever done this before, so We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it turns out to just be a fun night, and hopefully you'll enjoy the movie Nosferatu, starring Max Schreck. Did you do you know something about the name Max Schreck? I don't know. The actor's name was Max Schreck, who plays Count Orlok, Dracula. The thing is, that's the name that Christopher Walken used as his villain in what was it, Batman? Is it Batman Returns? The second Batman movie with Michael Keaton? The one with Catwoman and the Penguin in it? And the other guy, the other dude was Christopher Walken's characters. He named him after, of course, Max Schreck. So, I don't see... Okay, Tom Paisley says German for terror. Ooh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty neat. Schreck is German for terror? Is that what you're saying? Because if so, that's pretty darn cool. I wasn't aware of that. Brad says it's the Chiller Night pre-show with Brian Hogue, starring Brian Hogue. And now here's Brian. Thank you, Brad. Thank you very much. Tom, that's... I think I did read that somewhere about... oh, okay. There he says, yep. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So... I'm guessing that was a stage name or his artistic name. Brad says, sorry I'm late. Anyways, Merry Christmas. Hey, we don't take attendance, so don't worry about it. No, I'm just glad you joined us. No problem. Merry Christmas to you too, Brad, and anybody watching. I was actually running late myself, which is probably why I'm noticeably a little more hyped up, just because I was rushing and didn't think I was going to get this started in time. So once again, the holidays, family, you know, out visiting my dad, you know, and my stepmom with my family. So we just got back in time, like minutes ago, it seems. So, and then I had to set everything up. So I'm going to check, make sure I'm not missing any comments on... Even though I'm supposed to be seeing this stuff on Restream, it doesn't always work out that way. I'm checking out Facebook right now. Checking out. Everything looks to be... Alright, it looks like I can see everything on there. Alright, going back to Restream chat. Okay, good deal. Alright, so tonight's Chiller Chat, by the way, at 11 o'clock, like I said earlier... Oh, Tom says... Yeah, from when Schreck worked with the Rhine players. Okay, it's on the Nosferatu DVD commentary by Lochheis. I don't know if I said that right. That's pretty cool. I'll probably have to brush up on the history of this before, you know, so I can relay this to Jack Shadow. Well, he already knows this stuff, I'm sure. Before January 4th. I think that's going to be a fun night, you know. We'll see how it goes. If it's something I can attract a lot of viewers, and if it's something that I really hope it'll be worth everybody's time, you know, to come out and to join together and to watch this together with Jack Shadow. You know, this is totally different. I've never done this before. I tell you what, I have wanted to do a. That's itchy. I have wanted to try a live Chiller Night Theater from the TV studio. I think that would be cool, but I've just never got around to being able to do that, because it's it'd be live, we'd be late at you know, at the TV studio. But I always thought that'd be a neat idea, especially like a Halloween special. You never know. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. Brad says, anyway, sorry I'm late. My wife and I were making a Christmas gingerbread house. Unfortunately, we messed it up. Very messy. You know, a neat. I saw something really cool. My stepson Brenton, he actually put together a gingerbread house, and he did a really cool job on this. I mean, he had the icing hanging down like icicles off the sides of the roof and stuff. I mean, he put some time into this thing. And so I never realized like how cool those things could end up looking, but he put a lot of time into it. So that was really cool. Once again, I will say, the disclaimer. If anybody sees that Bob or anybody else on here is leaving comments and I'm not seeing them, please let me know. If it's Bob, maybe I'll just have him call in, and we'll get him on the line here. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, Brad. I don't know if you saw the schedule, but we're on tonight. Look at check that out. Grave of the Vampire. Chiller Chat with Samantha Daner, who's Elle on the show. 11:30 Horror Express, Chiller Chat, me being interviewed by Luke Rio, and Chiller Night Theater at 2 a.m. Grave of the Vampire. So, all right, so that's our lineup for tonight, and a lot of work has actually going into the show, you know, over the last year. Well, it's actually been a little over a year, probably more like a year and 3 months, something like that, because we had to tape everything before we started the big kickoff, the debut with Stream TV in October 28th, 2017, I believe. So we've been working pretty hard with no Santa versus the Martians. No, not this year. I just didn't have time. December is really it's a good month. It's like my favorite month, but it's really packed, you know, of trying to do things with the family and shopping and stuff. Oh, Brad says I'm kidding. LOL. Yeah, but that's not out of the question though, because I did think about it. I was thinking about it, or at least here's an idea I was thinking too. Is there was a really cool version of A Christmas Carol from back in 1930. It's either 35 or 38, but it's a really well done version of A Christmas Carol. It's public domain, so I was actually considering having Jack Shadow host that one, maybe for next year. But it was pretty cool. I thought I could make the I don't know, I could kind of justify that because it has ghosts in it, you know. But anyways, I was actually considering doing that one. I like that story. In fact, the family and we watched the Disney's A Christmas Carol last night with Jim Carrey in it and Gary Oldman, and I always like that. That's a really well done version. If you've never seen it, check it out. From 2009, I believe. We actually went to the theater to see that back in 2009. It was in 3D, so that was cool. Good lineup tonight. Samantha's going to be on tonight later at 11 o'clock. It is a repeat. It's not a new episode, but she talks a little bit about when she first got started on the show, and the transition from going from a previous character to the character that we know now as Elle the Vampire. So that's kind of a lot of fun. We'll be talking about that. We're watching Horror Express, which is another really, really good movie. And then I'll be interviewed by Luke Rio, and I talked about a lot of this stuff last week with like how the show got started, my correspondence and interactions with Billy Cardell, who was the host of Chiller Theater in Pittsburgh that I grew up watching, so we touch on a lot of that stuff. I don't know if you guys watched the interview or not, but that was the first interview that we did for Chiller Chat being its own show since it started airing on Stream TV. Before that, Chiller Chat was part of Chiller Night Theater or Sleepy Hollow Theater at the time. It was just one of the breaks in between the movie. That's how the interviews were done. They were just like 3 to 5 minute segments that were put in, between breaks of the movie. I thought, well, wait a minute. I got a lot more I want to talk about with these people, I mean, I really can't fit all that in, as a break segment in between the movie. So we just made it its own show. I'd like to actually make that show integrate it with this one here. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that works. But let me check. Make sure. Brad says, are you getting ready for Christmas? Are you done with your Christmas shopping? We are ready for Christmas, and we are done with the Christmas shopping. I will say we still have some wrapping to do, but other than that, I think we're officially done. We're ready for the holidays. Hit it head on. So, how about you? Are you all set? Everybody all set out there? Let me see if I'm missing anything here on Facebook. If you can, if you like what I'm doing here, if you like the program, you know, if you want to share this, I'd certainly appreciate it. Let me see here. Okay, just looking at what I have here. I didn't have really time to. Nick says, all set. All right, awesome, Nick. People always say this, you know, oh, it just snuck up on us. I can kind of see that, you know, but Brad says almost. I don't know. I kind of mentally get prepared for the holidays, the holiday season. And in my head, when September hits, I mean the beginning of September, to me, I'm kind of already kind of mentally prepared for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, you know. So I think that comes from being a haunted house owner, part of that, because you'd have to start mentally preparing yourself for Halloween all the way back in like April, you know, the 4th month of out of the year. You're already thinking about 6 months beyond. If you can do it before then, even better, but at least you want to know what you're doing by April. So I had to plan all that stuff, because you don't just build the haunted house. There's the unsung hero, marketing, advertising. You know, you have to have all that stuff planned out well in advance, as far in advance as you can get it. You know, I do that to some extent with the show as well. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just dressing up and looking at a camera. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. And I'm really glad you guys are enjoying the shows, because I'm putting a lot into it, and you know, from the feedback I'm getting, it, you know, you guys all seem to really enjoy it. So I appreciate that. I don't know if we're going to have a lot of people on here tonight, because I would imagine, I could be wrong, but I would imagine that there's a lot of people at Christmas parties, you know, family get-togethers, Christmas parties and stuff like that, at this time. I'm trying to see if I can see how many people are viewing this. I don't think I can. Huh. Well, we might be a little slow, but we'll not be any less interesting. Okay. Brad says, every year after Labor Day, all 4 holidays all rolled into one for the next 3 months. Yeah, I kind of looked at that. I was talking to Ava about that tonight. I said, you know, we just kind of, you know, whenever you hit September, you just kind of slide into home, you know. Oh, Cassandra, Diana, Sylvia, a toast of wine to you and the show. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Nick says, shows 6 on my screen. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, Cassandra, I never miss it. I'm always going to say Cassandra, even though I know he's Diana. I'm just, I never miss it. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Samantha, cheers to you all. A happy holidays. Well, thank you to you as well. I have your episode coming up tonight at 11. So, the first one that we did back in 2000, back in the beginning of the year. Yeah, okay, Nick says people viewing, right? That's okay. So what do you think, Samantha? You having a good year here with Chiller Night Theater? I hope it's a good experience for you. Nick says, "Oh, okay, I read that already. People watching." All right, yeah, I figured it'd be a little low on the viewing. Tom says, "Sam, a gorgeous creature, and I do mean creature." The vampire. Children of the night. Well, I hope Samantha is enjoying her time. Thank you, Tom. She says, I hope Samantha is enjoying her time on Chiller Night Theater. And hopefully we'll have many more episodes to come in the future. Time will tell. Time will tell. I haven't been able to do much this month. Samantha says, I am. I'm glad we are getting it going again. Yeah, it took a little bit of a sabbatical there for a while. Nick says they probably wrapping gifts. Well, either that or they've got Christmas parties or family obligations. You know, like I said, I honestly I barely got back myself. I mean, I was rushing up until the last minute. I actually, I'll be honest, I didn't think I was going to be able to get here by 8 o'clock. So I understand it's probably going to be low. It might even be we might even cut it early if we're not really engulfed in too much of a conversation here. Samantha says it's been so much fun. I've had a good time. It's a lot of, believe it or not, it's actually like there's a lot of work to it, you know. Like I don't want to keep harping on that, but I mean it's not. And I hope you can tell. I hope it stands out. I hope that you can tell that it's not just some people impromptu getting up in front of a camera like me doing what I'm doing now. It's not just that. There's a lot of preparation involved in the show with the characters. So, and I hope you can see that, and I think you do. I think a lot of the viewers have they can tell that we put a lot into it. Brad says the worst part of the summer that it is hot, humid, and lots of bugs and mosquitoes. I'm taking it that's probably mosquitoes. Ugh. You know, there was Samantha, she can and Ava. There was a time, in fact, maybe I can pull this up as I'm talking. Maybe not. We'll see. There was a time, speaking of summer and hot and humid, we did a parade in Oil City. Samantha's labor of love. Yes, it is. Boy, ain't that the truth. I don't even know where to begin looking for the. Jason says, "Awesome hat." Thank you from myself and from my co-host tonight. Cassandra says, "I love it. The show is awesome." Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. My screen just blinked, so I hope that I don't even know if that's a word, blimped, but I hope everyone still is watching and I didn't get kicked off. Let me look. Okay, I think I'm still on. What I will ask if Tom says, I like your friend there, Slim. Yeah, he's quiet. He's the quiet type, but your co-host is a dead ringer. And then Ava says everything's fine. Good. All right, good deal. I never know. Samantha says the parade was so much fun. That was fun. It was hot. It was muggy. It was humid. It was miserable. However, when you're walking and you see people recognizing you and the characters and they're applauding you and everything, and just it's really fun. You know, parents bringing their kids up to get their pictures taken with you and stuff. That was fun. Jason said, I just jumped on. What's playing tonight? All right, Jason, glad you asked. Let me pull this up real quick. Ba-boom. I've been making sound effects if you haven't noticed. Pow, kapow. All right, but okay, 9 p.m. Chiller Night Theater. Jack Shadow features Grave of the Vampire. 11 p.m. Chiller Chat. My guest tonight is Samantha, our very own Samantha Diener, who plays Elle Von Nock on Chiller Night Theater. 11:30 Tonight, Chiller Night Theater, Jack Shadow features Horror Express. 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat. Brian Hogue, that's me. I'll be interviewed by Luke Rio. Luke is the Stream TV station manager. And that was kind of the kickoff to commemorate the very first episode that we actually taped for Stream TV. And then at 2 a.m., Chiller Night Theater, our movie, once again, the feature film, Grave of the Vampire. So that's our lineup for tonight. And then, let's see. Richard says, "You're on." I am on. I missed 2 weeks out of this month, just out of family get-togethers and shopping and preparations for the Christmas season and all that good stuff. It's been kind of tough. I didn't want to add anything. I definitely didn't want to add any new Chiller Night Theater episodes. A lot of just too much, but I wanted to get back. I barely got back in time for this. Nick says, "I drove around with the skeleton for a while. His name was Pablo." Okay. And then Brad says, "I hope the skeleton has a nice holiday. LOL. I'm sure he will. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't." Richard says, "Can't see straight, but I'm sure it's going to be great." Oh, Richard, you can't see straight. I hope you're having some vision problems. I get that every once in a while. I got to pull out the old spectacles. Jason says, "John Carradine in Grave of the Vampire." That was House of Dracula of John Carradine, and House of Frankenstein he's played. Unless there's something else I'm missing. No, this is, or maybe there is another one by that title with John Carradine. But this one stars, gosh, now my mind went blank. Michael, I probably have to pull that up. It's not John Carradine. Autumn says, "Hi, Brian." Hi, Autumn. How you doing? Glad you could join us. I remember last week you said you were going bowling, so hopefully you did well. Jason says, "Oh, right." Brad says, "You're missing comments. Scroll up." I'll check on Facebook. See, Restream's not giving me everything, and unfortunately I'm looking right at Restream's chat page, and so even if I scroll up, I'm seeing everything that they're providing me. So what I can do though, and I'll hit Facebook. Let's see what I'm missing here. Oh, Samantha. Oh, Autumn says, "I did 3 strikes." Samantha says, "Brad, there's only so much time." I can't see what's above that, unfortunately. Samantha says, "Good job, Autumn." I second that. Okay, now let me jump over to YouTube. I don't think I'm missing anything over here. I think the ones that I'm seeing are, she did 3 strikes. Richard says, "White Russians are in the mix." Okay, well that could impair your vision. Sure, I can see that. Brad says, "Maybe the skeleton next to you is playing tricks on you." That could well be. Maybe he's interfering with my Wi-Fi. Who in the world? Now I'm curious. Who is? It's Michael something. It's a real common name too. Grave of the Vampire. Let's just see. Let's see together. Grave of the Vampire. And once I say this name, you might not recognize the name of the actor, but I guarantee you would know the movies he's in once you see him. William Smith. I was thinking Michael Pataki. Michael Pataki, that's the vampire. That's who plays the vampire. But I was actually thinking of the hero, the main character, his adversary is William Smith. Now, William Smith, he's played on a lot of movies like, he played on like Any Which Way You Can and Any Which Way, one of those ones, or maybe both with Clint Eastwood. He was always a redheaded dude. He was always kind of a muscular actor. He's always playing like the bad guy. He was in Red Dawn. He played the bad Russian, Soviet guy in that movie in Red Dawn. Richard said it's a good movie. It is a good movie. It's very good. I love the atmosphere at the beginning of the movie. Very, very good setup. Brad says it doesn't matter what you miss as long as we're having fun. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is kind of weird, though. I mean, I'm paying for this multi-streaming service. You'd think I could see all the. Samantha says Will Smith. LOL. yeah. William Smith. He was a great actor. He was in a and then Jason says Michael Pataki. He was in Halloween 4 as a doctor. Yes, he was. Yeah, he's been in. Oh my gosh, what a character actor. He's been in tons and tons of movies. Yeah, he was in lots and lots of stuff. I think Jack Shadow mentions that quite a bit tonight too. And once he does, and once you see who he is, for those who may not know, as soon as you see this guy, you're going to know. Well, actually, both of those guys, William Smith and Michael Pataki, you've seen them if you've watched TV in the last 25 years, 30 years. You know who these guys are. So, but it's a good movie. Good acting, good story. It's kind of got a little bit of a kind of a hint of Rosemary's Baby to it in a way. Kind of like Blade mixed with Rosemary's Baby. I don't know. I guess if I were to play the mixing game here. Autumn says yes. I like Will Smith. Well, he's a good actor. He's a good actor. This guy's, his name's William Smith also, the guy who plays in tonight's movie. He's a lot older than the Will Smith that you probably are referring to, the one who was in The Prince of Bel-Air. But this William Smith, he was he was in a lot of movies over the years, always playing either the bad guy, the tough bad guy type. Very good movie. Tonight Craig says hi. Well, hey Craig, how are you doing tonight? Thanks for joining us. I went to school with Craig way back in the day. About 100 years ago? It seems. Brad says happy Halloween, Shamrock Silver. Oh yeah, that one was Halloween 3, Season of the Witch with the silver shamrock. Remember the masks that the kids were putting on? And then Autumn says, I like the Wild Wild West and Men in Black. I never saw the Wild Wild West with Will Smith and Kenneth Branagh. I do know of the movie, and I know what you're talking about. I've never seen that movie. And Kenneth Branagh, if I'm saying that right. I've always liked his acting. I always thought he was a really good acting. He directed, if I remember right, he directed the first Thor movie. He was in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein as Victor Frankenstein, the doctor. He's been in a lot of movies, a lot of Shakespeare movies over the years. Much Ado About Nothing, and gosh, I don't remember. He's been in just so many movies. One of those Shakespearean actors, British Shakespearean actors. All right, let's see if I'm missing any comments. I don't think I think I'm caught up. I think I'm caught up right now. All right, good deal. All right, so tonight, I think it's going to be a good, if you've never seen Grave of the Vampire, check it out. It's a good movie. Actually, those other ones that I mentioned too, that I think it was Jason who mentioned, John Carradine. The Universal movies like House of Dracula and House of Vampire, or House of Frankenstein. John Carradine, who another very well-known character actor. You've seen John Carradine. I know you've seen him, whether you realize it or not. In The Howling, the old the Howling movies. I will see if I can pull up a picture of John Carradine, and it doesn't even matter. He's not even in the movies tonight. I met David Carradine, Kung Fu, the guy who played Kung Fu, his son. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Here's a really early picture of John Carradine. Save images. All right. This is so weird how I can do this. All right. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, here we go. Watch this. I'm getting kind of good at this. This is good practice for me. Because if I ever have something come up that kind of is important, I can pull these things up right now on the spot. And pull this up while I'm talking to you folks. I'm getting kind of good at this. I'm kind of proud of myself. I would like to be a little quicker. I would really, but you know, it does take practice. It does take practice. So, oh, come on. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. See that guy? That's John Carradine in his really younger years. And I suppose if we had never seen Bela Lugosi, then this guy right here would probably not be a bad choice for Dracula. But I think after we were so used to Bela Lugosi, I don't know, I just couldn't get used to him as Dracula. Wasn't a horrible Dracula. Wasn't a horrible Dracula, but just wasn't a Bela. So, or Christopher. But anyways, there we go. There we go with that. Okay. Cassandra loved him in The Howling. I think I have hat hair now. Yeah. Loved him in The Howling. Yeah, he was kind of a crazy old guy in The Howling. Richard said, lights out, vampire from the grave, let's go. Coming up soon. And then, ever seen the movie Black Christmas? No, I don't think I have. I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen that. And then Tom says, I love Jack Palance as Dracula, if I'm saying that right. I know the actor. Yeah, Jack Palance. I remember him as Dracula. Yeah, I remember watching that a long time ago when I was a kid. I saw that on YouTube not too long ago. They actually have that version of him on YouTube, unless they took it down. I don't know if that's public domain or not. If it's not, maybe I can get away with playing that one, because he just looks so evil. You know, he's just got such a grizzled, tough-looking face. Jack Palance is so good, Cassandra says. Yeah. But then he had the perfect, those cheekbones and he just looked like he was, like you wouldn't want to mess with this guy, like especially as a vampire, you know. He had a really good look for a vampire. Samantha, Black Christmas was great, and it was the same director as Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Is that right? I didn't know that. Was it? I take it was probably made around that same time era in the early 70s. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, I think, was 72, I think, or between 72, 74, something like that. Jack Palance, vampire. Oh, Tom says he always played a thug. Yeah, like on Tango and Cash, he played the mob bad guy. On Batman with Michael Keaton, he played the big mob boss. Richard says Jack Palance vampire TV movie, great movie. Nick says I remember Palance from Tango and Cash, the bad guy. There we go. Yep, I remember that. And then Samantha says Bob Clark was the director. All right, okay, Bob Clark. Yep. And then Cassandra says Dan Curtis directed the Palance Dracula. Wow. Hey, that would be kind of neat to play that one on one of these Chiller Night theaters, right? I think so. I mean, if it's on, maybe we could. I'll check it out. That would be a really cool one to play. Brad says, I thought there was one actor who plays Dracula, and that's Christopher Lee. Well, if you are a diehard Christopher Lee fan, then I suppose that's your one actor for Dracula. I'll allow for that. If you want to be like that, then no. Cassandra said Dan Curtis directed. Okay, I think I read that one. Tom says was in Requiem for a Heavyweight, a Rod Serling film. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Samantha says same one who also did A Christmas Story. Right, we just watched that a couple nights ago. And then Nick says love A Christmas Story. Yes, who doesn't love A Christmas Story? That actually is pretty entertaining. I do like that one. That takes me back to that time. I think that movie's supposed to take place in 1939. If I don't know, somebody could Google that, either prove me right or wrong. I don't know, but it's in that I think in the pre-war World II era. Tom Paisley. Oops, Serling typo. Okay. I went ahead with it too. I was just talking about Rod Serling tonight with my dad. We were sitting around just talking about the good old days, you know, and we were talking about those old shows, hosted horror shows, and Chiller Theater, and just the old EC comics, you know, like Tales from the Crypt. If I can get a good handle on it. Knocking everything out of my drawer. Old Tales from the Crypt. You remember those from published by William Gaines back in the day? They were pretty cool. But I don't know. We were just talking about that, and that led on to us talking about the Twilight Zone and the Night Gallery. Remember the Night Gallery? He didn't remember the Night Gallery. I sure did, though. I really used to love watching that. Okay, Tom said, okay. Michael, would any of the famous Roger Corman sci-fi B movies of the 50s, 60s be public domain? A lot of them are. Many Roger Corman movies are public domain. In fact, we've played several of them, and there's a lot more to choose from the Roger Corman library to choose from. So you'll no doubt be seeing more Roger Corman movies on Chiller Night Theater. Yes. He provided just so many of these that we play on every hosted horror channel. They play a lot of Roger Corman movies, and for good reason. They're entertaining. I mean, Roger gets a low budget and a little bracket of time to do it, and he pumps out a masterpiece, or at least something that people criticize it, but they're entertaining. We watch them. I mean, it's the type of movie that if you're tuning in the Chiller Night Theater, you come to expect and to love. Nick says, Christmas Eve from 8 p.m. until Christmas Day 8 p.m. I leave it on A Christmas Story the whole time. My mom used to do that. She used to leave that just running. She loved that movie. Richard says Scrooge. Oh, is that the one with Bill Murray? Ava likes that one, if that's what you're talking about. And then Brad says you'll shoot your eye out. You shoot your eye out. Tom says Twilight Zone was before our time, Brian. I grew up with Night Gallery as well. Yes, it was well before our time, but I certainly enjoyed I got to watch the reruns at night with my dad, and he and I used to watch Twilight Zone quite a bit. And then I remember watching Night Gallery with him as well, so I think if he saw an episode of it, he would remember it. And then Cassandra, Corman rocks. Yes, he does. And then Richard says, Night Gallery was the best show ever. Forget Twilight Zone. And then Brad says, 15 minutes until Chiller Night Theater. Are you kidding me? Wow! Holy cow! This went quick. Cassandra, love Sermon's stuff. Okay, now you'll have to let me know who you're referring to here. Cirman, Cirman. I'm not sure who that is off the top of my head. A Christmas Carol. Richard says A Christmas Carol, Ebenezer. Oh yeah, yeah. We just watched A Christmas Carol, well, the Disney version with Jim Carrey last night. I love that. I just love that look and feel. I'm big on atmosphere, and I think that they did a really good job for a more modern presentation. I think that they really hit the nail on the head. I was going to, Corman, Cassandra says Corman. Okay, now I'm back on the same page with you. I do too. I really I love those movies. You know, yeah, I mean, that's exactly the perfect. He's got so many of those movies that we can play on here, and we have played. And I'll tell you what, you may not know this because you a lot of you are newer to viewing this show. But over the years, when we did Sleepy Hollow Theater, we played a lot more Roger Corman movies than I have now, and we will be playing those. I mean, it's just a given. You got to play Roger Corman. Richard says old school stuff. Yeah. I mean, as far as like the Night Gallery and Twilight Zone, you know, we used to watch that stuff all the time, and I used to love that. My dad I think he's responsible for the, you know, all this horror stuff. I don't know. I don't think he was a big horror fan. I mean, he didn't sit around and like act like but I do know that like late at night, like when we're watching TV, we were watching the Twilight Zone, watching the Night Gallery. Saturday nights, Chiller Theater. It was a lot of times. It started out with the entire family, but most of the time it ended up with just my dad and I were the only ones staying awake. Brenton says, the live stream looks very nice, Dad. Merry early Christmas, everyone. Oh, thank you, Brenton. I appreciate that. And Merry Christmas to everyone also. Yeah, I hope everyone's going to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Well, we'll be on again before New Year, I think. Let me consult my calendar. Because I'm thinking that I'm going to be on one more time before we go live with Jack Shadow. Yes, we will be on Saturday the 29th, the next Saturday. So we're good to go. I'll plug the book real quick. Chiller Night, The Spirit of Halloween. See that? All right, I just kind of feel funny if I don't mention that. Where can you get that? Probably a little late for a stocking stuffer, but you know, you could read it all year long, and you could get that at chillernighttheater.com. chillernighttheater.com. I actually have a little store there. You could buy that. Samantha says, Merry Christmas, Brenton. And then Brad says, I heard there was a coal shortage, so instead of coal for naughty kids from Santa this year, he's sending Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, LOL. Oh, I would hope that he wouldn't do that to these kids. Brad says he's sending Star Wars Episode 8, Last Jedi. Okay. And then Richard says, plug away. Oh, thank you, Richard. And Brad says Blu-ray. Yeah, that's, I mean, it was something. Again, this is something other than just the show. You know, the book, there was a lot of effort put into the book as well. From, you know, it's funny because here I am, I'm trying to push it, you know, I'm trying to promote it. I was trying to, Jennifer Sadler, the author I hired to write the book, and then Scott Lubin was the artist, Rick Whitlow for the cover art. Just a really neat book. I'm going to, the intent, and this will be, you know, fingers crossed. The intent was the Chiller Night books, the Chiller Night book series. This was the first. Okay, so there should be more coming, but I'm actually going to go through a regular publisher, because doing this self-publishing stuff, if you have time, if you have extra time, it probably is not a bad deal. With all that I have going on, you know, like all of you, you got the same thing, with the job, the family, and then on top of that, when you're trying to put too much on top of that, you know how it is. It's tough if I'm the one by myself promoting it. So what I would like to do is just go through a publisher next time. So we'll see how that goes. We are, oh my gosh, it's 8:52. I will be cutting this short in 3 minutes. We'll cut it then. And Brad says, now that's worse than cool, LOL. Yes, yes. Well, hopefully Santa Claus would not subject children to The Last Jedi. That's my opinion. Doesn't have to be anybody else's. That's just mine. I've done a show on that before, giving my review and my opinion, and it's not favorable. I'll tell you that. But anyways, Richard says, it's hard to make the day go by when you have too much SH. He puts the parentheses, so I'll respect that to do. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just, when it starts becoming overwhelming, then when it stops losing its luster of being fun, that's when you have to, like, okay, we'll let a publisher do that work. We'll let so-and-so do this. We'll let so-and-so. You start to maybe delegate a few things to some other people. And that's why I'm really happy with Samantha jumping on board with Chiller Night Theater, because that's, taking on some of the responsibilities of hosting. That's a big help. That's a big help to me. Richard says, it's hard to... Oh, I read that already. And then Samantha says, Brian, who would win in a fight, Fluffy or Hatchet? Ben is asking. I'm going to say Hatchet. I'm going to say that. I don't know if that's how it would end up, but that's how I'm going. What do you think? Richard says, thanks for hanging out. Oh, thank you, Richard. Thanks to all of you who've joined. I'm going to wait, though. I'm going to wait for Samantha's answer. I'm going to see what Ben says before I cut this short. We'll see. I will not be seeing you again before Christmas. So to each and all of you, have a very Merry Christmas to all of you, to you and yours. And I will see you before New Year's, so I'll hold off on wishing that a Happy New Year's. I'll do it. Happy New Year's to you. But we'll see you again next Saturday night. Nick says, I had to run to the liquor store. Who is Fluffy and Hatchet? LOL. Well, Samantha brought this up, so we're going to... Do we have time? I don't know. I'm waiting. Don't just drop that and then take off, Samantha. I mean, you got some follow-up to do here. You only got like a minute. All right. Well, if not, Merry Christmas to everyone. That's your answer. Merry Christmas to everyone. All right. Well, Merry Christmas. But I'm almost tempted to call and have Samantha come on next Saturday and talk about the Fluffy and Hatchet hypothetical feud. So Samantha says my answer would be Fluffy. Okay. Cassandra says, have a very Merry Christmas. And then Samantha says, it was Ben, not me. All right, then we'll have Ben on. And then Richard says, Merry Christmas to you too. Pass the joint. All right, folks. 8:56, if I'm looking at that right. Thanks for joining me tonight. Tune in tonight at 9 o'clock in like 4 minutes to Stream TV. That's www.streammedia.tv. And you can watch online or click and connect to the Roku channel and watch. Richard says it's legal. Well, okay, you know what you do. That's your thing. All right. Samantha says that would be funny. All right, folks. Brenton says, Merry Christmas, Dad. Merry Christmas, Brenton. Samantha said, have Ben explain it. Oh, we will. Oh, we will. We'll have Ben on here. He got some splaining to do. And then Samantha says, tune in, everyone. Yes, tune in at 9 o'clock here in a couple minutes. So I'll let you guys go. Get your pizzas, get your popcorn, get your candy, get your adult beverage. Richard, get your joint. I guess if that's your thing. So, and then most importantly, get that safety blanket and wrap it up around you tight. Get ready for Fun and Fright with Chiller Night Theater. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good Chiller Night. We'll see you next week.